Hello, my name is Paul Manley. I'm running for state representative in the 32nd District. The 32nd District is a little bit of Macomb County and a little bit of St. Clair County. In Macomb County, I got Chesterfield Township, New Baltimore. In St. Clair County, I've got Ira Township, Casco, Columbus, Wales, Pinokie, Kimball, and Riley. But I've also got half of Memphis and half of Richmond, which makes it really interesting. And our state has been, well, as a matter of fact, unions have been around like forever. Back in the medieval times, they had the mason unions, stonemasons, and they had the weavers. And lately in Michigan, the unions have been under attack by our state. And just recently, they attacked us through right-to-work legislation. Then once that didn't work so well, they attacked us by refusing to allow the unions to take the money for dues out of our pay. And then after that, they started with prevailing wage legislation, which they sent a petition around, got the names, and then the legislature passed it, and then the Senate passed it. And because of the petition, they don't even need the governor to sign it. And my question, whenever I found out about it, is why would they do it? Because wasn't Michigan made great with the unions? Yes. Didn't this become a better society? The Great Society was created because we created unions. We were able to get fair wages. Yes. We were able to get insurance, not just life insurance, but health insurance and different things from the union. And the only thing I can think of is corporate donors. The Republicans do not work for us. They do not represent us. They never will. Yes. And that's something as voters we have to realize from the get-go. If you're voting for a Republican, you're not voting for somebody who's going to vote for you when they get into the legislature. But back to unions a little bit. Unions did so much for us. I wrote down just a few things that unions have done for us, and it's really kind of crazy. Number one, they ushered in things like 40 hours of work week. They gave us living wages for one thing. Before you were working crazy hours and you still couldn't afford to live. They gave us paid breaks. And if you ever worked in a shop, you know how great that is. They gave us vacations, okay? Health insurance, life insurance. They gave us education benefits. They gave us enrichment programs through our union. Just basic human rights. And another thing that they gave us that was really super important is they gave us the right to sit down with the labor relations person and bring in somebody to represent us if we were being brought in for punishment of some kind. To sit down and say, hey, look, I didn't do this. I shouldn't be punished for this. And if that didn't work, then you had the right to write a grievance. And then they go before a board and they discuss the grievance. And if that doesn't work, then you've got the right to arbitrate. And then you get fair arbitration by doing that. And that's something that they've tried to take away from us. They've tried to take in the state, they've tried to take that from the labor unions. And Gary and I and Jason and Mrs. Cho, I think it was, we were sitting at one of the labor management business meetings, and we were discussing what could we possibly do about that. Well, you can't force people to join a union. You just can't. But what we can do is once we're in the legislature, we can make it a requirement that we have qualified workers. And how do we do that? Well, first of all, we determine how to make the workers qualified. And most of the qualified workers I've ever known are union workers. Anybody that's went through an apprentice program, they're a qualified worker. Anybody that works any way, shape, or form through a union is always qualified, because they're not, the union will come back and make it right. And so, that's what my goal is, as far as unions go, to bring back unions in the state of Michigan. I would like to see union increased as opposed to decreased in the state of Michigan. And that is my goal. And once again, my name's Paul Manley. I'm running for 32nd District. Any questions? Yes?
Unfortunately, the people that hire the skilled workers,
Yes.
the skilled workers are not skilled.
Well, that's what prevailing wage gave to the state. They gave us skilled workers. If you were working for a municipality that was, whenever a job was bid on by, say, a contractor of some kind, and you ended up getting your money okayed through votes, well, then they would get that money guaranteed through the state. Well, if the state guaranteed the money, you had to have skilled trades come in and work and pay prevailing wages. But what they're doing now is they don't want the contractors to have to pay prevailing wages. And the way they did that is they told the people that, well, it'll save you money on the taxes. Well, it won't, because that money is spent long before the people that are having prevailing wages ever get hired. That money's already in their pocketbooks. So whether they hire a $10 an hour electrician that don't know which end of a cord to put in the plug, or if they hire somebody that's a union electrician, an IBEW electrician, it doesn't cost any more or less to the contractor, because they've already got their money. And also for the taxpayer, they've already paid out the money.
Would you be in favor of overturning wage to work?
Oh, God, yes. That would be the first thing that anybody in this room would do, I believe, is overturn right to work.
Anybody else have a question?